Hi everyone. In this session, we will discuss about deadlock characterization or conditions for deadlock. So, the necessary conditions for deadlock are mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption, and circular wait. These are the conditions for deadlock. Okay, we will see these conditions each in detail one by one. Okay. So first, mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion. What is mutual exclusion? Mutual exclusion is nothing but only one process can access a resource at a time. Okay, let us suppose, if you see here, process P1. If you see here, process P1 is accessing resource R1. P1 is accessing, let us suppose this is P1, this is R1. So, process P1 is accessing or holding resource R1. So, now this resource R1, since the resource R1 is being held or being accessed by process P1, the resource R1 should not be utilized by any other process. Okay, you should not allow any other process to access this resource R1. That is what the mutual exclusion means. See, it is given very clearly that so only one process can access a resource at a time. Only one process can access the resource at a time. See, this is resource and this process P1 is being the resource R1 is being accessed by the process P1. So only one process can access a resource at a time. So in the below figure it is very clear that process P1. So process P1 is accessing resource R1. So no other process should be allowed to access resource R1 since process P1 is accessing it. Okay, right? This is what the mutual exclusion means. Only a particular resource. A resource can be accessed by only one process at a time. This is what a mutual exclusion means. Okay? Hope you have understood. So next, hold and wait. Hold. We are holding something and waiting for something. Okay, that is what hold and wait. We are holding and waiting for something, right? Okay. So, let us suppose here we have two processes. Process P1, P2. Process P1, P2. Resource R1, R2. Resource R1, resource R2. Right. So, process P1 is holding. See, this is holding. Process P1 is holding resource R1. Okay. Mutual exclusion we told. A particular resource can be accessed by only one process at a time. So resource R1 is being accessed by process P1. Resource R2 is being accessed by process P2. R2 is being accessed by process P2. R1 is being accessed by process P1. Right? So here also this is also holding. Okay. So now process P1 is holding resource R1 and it is waiting for resource R2. It is waiting for resource R2. Similarly, process P2 is holding resource R2 and it is waiting for resource R1. It is also waiting for resource R1. So this is hold and wait. So the process P1 is holding one resource R1. And it is waiting for another resource, R2. Similarly, process P2, it is holding one resource, that is R2. Waiting for another resource, that is R1. So, this is what hold and wait means. Okay. Suppose there are two processes, P1 and P2. P1 is holding resource R1 and it is still waiting for resource R2. Whereas P2 is holding resource R2 and still it is waiting for resource R1. So, this is what hold and wait means. Okay. Next, no preemption. Next one is no preemption. No preemption means a resource cannot be preempted. That is nothing but I will tell you. So let us suppose this is a process P1 and this is a resource R1. So let us suppose the process P1 is holding or accessing resource R1. Okay. So what we have discussed in mutual exclusion, a particular resource should be allocated to or a resource should be accessed by only one process at a time. So here some other process P2 keeps a request. Process P2 keeps a request for this resource R1. Okay, since process P2 has kept a request, the process P1 should not release resource R1 before completion of its execution. Okay, that is what? No preemption. No preemption means the process P1 has to release, process P1 has to release R1 only when the process P1 completed its execution. If the process P1 has completed its execution or completed its access with respect to resource R1, then only the process P1 will release the resource R1. Okay, then that resource can be accessed by process P2. Okay, without completion of its execution or without completing its task, the process should not release the resources. That is what the no preemption means. Okay, hope you have understood. So the fourth one is circular wait. Circular wait. Okay, so process P1, process P2, resource R1, resource R2. So here it is very clear that process P1 is holding resource R1. Okay, so P1 is holding resource R1. Okay, P1 is holding resource R1. Whereas, see here, we will write P1 R1. So P1 is holding resource R1. Okay, whereas P2, this is P2, this is R2. So resource R2 is being accessed by process P2. Process P2 is holding resource R2. Right? Now process P2 is waiting for resource R1. Similarly, process P1 is waiting for resource R2. In the figure, it is very clear. So the resource R1 is being accessed by process P1, or process P1 is holding resource R1. P2 is holding resource R2. P2 is holding resource R2. See, process P1 is holding resource R1, and it is waiting for resource R2. Similarly, process P2 is holding resource R2 and it is waiting for resource R1. Okay, so here it seems to be a circular wait. See, P1 is waiting for resource R2 and R2 is being holded by or being accessed by process P2. P2 is waiting for resource R1, whereas R1, the resource R1 is being held by or being accessed by process P1. See, this is circular wait. Okay, so with this, the conditions for deadlock is over. So we will wind up the conditions for deadlock or deadlock characterization topic is over. Right? Thank you.